Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV for ETF2L Season 36 Premiership Division Week 4 game between Electro and SVIFT. My name is Lucky, and tonight I'm joined by ArchRhythm on production, and the dog-alicious man himself, eepily, is my co-cast. How's it going, sir?
That was a hell of a start, I'll be honest. Going all in. Going ready from the start, just going good. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I feel like this is going to be a good game. Last two games I've casted, the last 2 weeks, have been absolutely nutty. And I feel like this game's very much got the potential to be just as good. Like, these are, I think a lot of people were thinking, maybe not going into the season, they're predicting this is 1 and 2, but now the season's played out a little bit. These are looking to very possibly be top 2 seeds playing against each other already. And we're going to have a map like Viaduct to start with. So you know it's going to be nuts.
Potentially the most hyped up game you can have coming into the mid-season, you know. These two teams, actual powerhouses, star-studded rosters, been in the game for a long-ass time. They know what they're doing. eepily, sorry. Nearly called you dumped on there, that was amazing.
Jesus, that would be cringe.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so, both teams are rocking good rosters, like I said before, so we're just going to do a quick rundown of the teams before they suddenly ready up, because every single player's in the server. So we've got Electro, also known as the Church of Jezunis, rocking Nevo, Sorax, Azunis, Amarok, Eames, and Connor. Now on the medic, taking a little break there for like 2 seasons, I think it was, and now back in the game for this season, it looks like.
Damn. Would you like me to go through Swift? I can go through Swift too. They have absolute nutty American scouts in the form of Slemnish and Jay. We have Captain and Nubby on the soldier classes, Nasboy on demo, and Seeds on medic, all of which are absolutely crazy gamers. Even if you're not necessarily super aware of like a, you know, I know for a lot of people who maybe only half watched the game, haven't seen too much at all, may not be super aware of Nubby and Nasboy. They're relatively newer to the top levels of Prem, but then absolutely nuts at the game. So
yeah, it has to be said, Nubby was absolutely destroying. Like last season and the season before that, this man was a machine. He popped straight out of Division 1, dropped a 2nd place medal, then dropped a 1st place medal, and now he's like on a top team again, looking to reclaim another special gold medal for his old backpack there, and obviously for his profile. Oh wait, that all got deleted on ETF2L. Yikes.
Unlucky.
Unfortunate for him. All his good achievements wiped away by data, which is always fun to talk about. But just talking about SVIFT in general, though, they've, out of all the officials they've played, they've won every single one, or Electro have done the same thing. But there are a lot of similarities between these two teams, because both of them have absolutely destroyed the Gay Jail without losing any rounds and winning beneath 15 minutes on every single map.
I feel like, yeah, like roster to roster, player to player, performance to performance, you have pretty comparable things all the way around. It's a little bit weird to speak of it, because obviously, at least going into the season, SVIFT never planned on taking this overly seriously. They were very much going to be like, you know, an official only team, and as far as I'm aware, they've stuck fairly to that. I've seen them scrim every now and then, but you know, they're not super worried. Like half the time, you know, they don't know who's playing week to week, but they do have this like rotating tiger captain Pappy pocket kind of situation. Whereas, you know, Electro is obviously very set in their ways and have played together with at least a very similar roster for the longest time. So it's a little bit weird making the comparisons.
Yeah, it is. But that's a very good point that you brought up there, that Electro have been together as a solid roster for a long time. It means that they've got that, you know, equal synergy coming out equally as we are starting the game. Quick prediction from you for Koth Product, which is our first map.
I feel like this might be just an Electro one. I feel like they might do it, but I think it's going to get super close.
All right, we are coming out into our first mid, ladies and gentlemen, for this Koth map. And now we are seeing 2 demo men just pinging across stickies, both playing rather defensively here, just waiting for that cap to unlock. Captain now going in for a little bit of an early aggression, and he makes space for the soldier bombing pass. The demo man getting collapsed upon here. Nasboy eating a ton of damage there. Does in fact get taken down. We are seeing a collapse onto the blue side. Tons of red players are now forward. The soldier that tried to bomb behind is still there. Nubby threatening there on the pack, but both scouts definitely aware of his existence, and he is going to use this opportunity to bomb in behind. Just kills himself on the rock. And this isn't looking too good for the blue team now. Just 2 scouts up against a demo and 2 scouts. So they are heavily outmatched in terms of damage. They do lose Slemnish here on the retreat. And this is going to be a red first mid, it looks like.
Ooh, they still want to chase just a little bit. Just about. We saw Aura almost just kind of wanted to get super keen to try and get towards Seeds there. But nope, they managed to force them out. Even getting that pipe frag towards Jay. It's going to give them just a little bit of control and comfort towards this point now, as it will be Seeds playing towards this cliffside position, and it'll have to be Swift on this retake, trying to move up the point. They've got to trade their Ubers. They've got to get these out of the way before they can even start thinking about a refight towards point.
Yeah, I know that Seeds doesn't really like taking these slow fights because it just offers more opportunities for him to get forced out, and you don't want to be forcing that Uber first, especially on products. So they are just going to take an equal exchange here. The pop comes in a little bit later onto the red side. That early pop coming out from them. Maybe just burning a bit more Uber charge than they need to here with a single flash, but they do manage to get tons of damage down. Sorix is going to be the first casualty here, and it looks like they are managing to pump out damage. Amarok needs an arrow. Lord of Jezunis there on the left side is going to have to escape, and Nasboy now bombing forwards in towards the medic. Seeds is going to be on point, playing nice and passive there, and they're going to be capping up this point eepily as Amarok also goes down, and they're going to be in a retreat back towards spawn, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like it. I mean, it was a scrapping. Oh, woohoo! Captain hitting some little air shots there. Even if he does go down, they managed to trade somehow with Sorix again. So far, we're seeing some sloppy play actually from some scouts here. A little bit questionable. Like they lost both Sorix and Nevo in the fight towards mid. Can't really afford to do that. The second your scouts are down, it's like completely over in terms of taking a long fight.
Oh, for sure. Jay and Slemnish, though, they play so tight together. If you watch them now, they're just together all the time on the beam. But as soon as one of them goes down, bam, they're in retreat. They're retreating back towards their side because they don't want to play without that double scout aggression. And now the red team now moving forwards as Jay is dead. They got that one-man advantage. Then Nevo's still up on the pyro, and they're going to pop out this Uber charge in towards Connor. But Connor is just out of there, man. He didn't even have Uber to play with. But Nasboy now bombing in, gets a ton of damage, but still doesn't get that force. The soldier bomb is now coming in towards Connor. Connor still hasn't used it, therefore he only uses there as the rocket comes in from Nubby to force out that Uber. Only 1% on Seeds, however, so it's going to be an even Uber situation with a forward hold with Nevo on pyro.
Yeah, should be a pretty comfortable position if they can play nice and far forward. Slightly unconventional, playing with so many players towards this right-hand side, so it will be Jezunis rotating to look a little bit closer towards main. The Pyro on the doorway can do a lot, but usually Swift trying to bust through nice and early. One frag gets traded for either side. No one's fully got through. Jezunis is going all the way to spawn for reasons no one's quite sure about, and actually takes the wrong end of that trade. So 2 down on the side of Aura Electra. It's going to be Swift just walking all the way out pretty freely. They've even built themselves up a little advantage.
Yeah, the respawn advantage that you have when you are playing as the team trying to retake the point is quite considerable. So feeding in main there, Amarok sort of gave up that point for his team. Really didn't need to commit to that, unfortunately, and now they are losing clock time. But like I said about that, actually, Aura Electro are ahead by around 30 seconds. So they need to try and get away back into this point, get the recap, and make it going again eepily.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to be just moving towards the point, taking some decent position. They're starting to play the cap already, but so much damage is being dealt to Contact. He kind of has to use early. Somehow they get Nasboy very early into that fight, and then lose Eames themselves. This is really scrappy from both teams. Sorix as well just playing way, way, way too far forward. He's going to get caught out, and even Amarok is too weak to take this late fight. It's going to be so many players just being shot all across the map. There's no position at all right now for Aura Electra. They need to just chill a second. Saying that, they do manage to pick up Jay in that fight there. Like, if they can go forward together, this is absolutely doable.
Yeah, Captain there, bombing in behind, tries to get on top of Connor, but does not find it. The scout of Jay actually got caught out there trying to push forward. Wasn't on the same page as the rest of his team. And once again, we're in the same scenario where 2 players have committed forward, and they are on long respawn, so they are just going to cap out this point. And they're going to try and take this even fight. I say it would be even, but Connor wasn't healing for a small while, and Seeds, he is so good at building Uber. He's just constantly on the beam all the time, trying to make sure he gets that Uber before the enemy medic, and often it does work out for their team. Just by the Seeds playstyle alone, as he is probably the best medic in Europe, in fact, maybe the world at this point, as they are now popping out this Uber. Captain going in really deep onto Connor, does get that force pretty much immediately. Now they are just trying to play a little bit more passive and get that reposition, as Captain now, he knows they've wasted all their ammo on that Uber, jumps in behind Nubby, in fact, sorry, not Captain, as he does go deep. Now Captain's going in, just forcing out these red players, jumps back towards his medic just to get some more heals, and they are going to be able to reclaim that point with the soldier aggression.
They have, but for how long, you've got to ask, because once again, not having control of point, it's going to be Aura Electro with the much, much better spawns. Aggression towards the point. Captain a little bit weak on the side. He can't get that same spam towards point, and he's even going to be losing that 1v1 to Jezunis, so even with Jezunis going down, this is not too bad here for the side of Aura Electro. We see slightly longer spawn, and the position being taken is so important right now. It's all about even getting that position towards point. Oh, he does get bombed, does get taken down, but the surf from Condor gets him on 18 HP. This is going down to the wire for this round already.
It really is. Eames there got absolutely munched by Nubby, and Connor caught loads of the splash, but luckily surfed away there, did survive. That is massive that he survived. Great stuff from Condor to keep his team in this game, because the clock is slowly ticking down. 14 seconds left, but they are edging this cap really well. The defense comes out as they trade just before the cap, and Nasboy now in a bit of trouble, but does actually walk away from it. Sorix doesn't want to commit with this, so no red players around. They do have to save Eames from Jay, and this cap has now gone down to 0 seconds, so it's going to be a scramble for this point, but I think blue team are going to be happy enough to just give this one up. But they are now collapsing, throwing their lives at the red side, just to see how many frags they can get, and no one is actually on the cap. No one is going back for it. Eames is in a position to, doesn't go for it. Jezunis now, the only player on the point. Connor now manages to find it there. Nubby is super weak, but they don't get on the point fast enough, eepily, and that is going to be a 1-0 to the side of SVIFT.
Jesus, this game is just like, they're at each other's throats like the entire game. There was like a second there where absolutely could have come back in, and I don't know, like it probably would have gone down to some 0-0 overtime type nonsense, but I mean, yeah, whatever. Okay, right, first round done and dusted. It is going to be SVIFT just about starting things off quite nicely, but new round, new me. We're seeing how Electro tries to bring this back.
Yeah, we have got, once again, Captain and Nubby going for these early bombs in towards the red side. Amrock chews up a rocket. Captain reducing for heals. And Nubby actually getting taken down there by Nevo in the back lanes. Went back for him, but this has left Connor absolutely exposed, because the scout's going back and totally disconnected from their medic. And once again, we've got the double pocket scout along with Nasboy there sitting at the back, just playing this really tight formation. Total focus fire onto Eames. Takes him out easy. Sorix to fall. And that is going to be an easy recap there. These scouts, man, they are so coordinated.
It is formidable. The second you lose your heals, and then you're against a 185 Slemnish and Jay with a little bit of Nasboy there to spam as well, like, it's so difficult to get through that defense. So this is going to be a absolutely huge Uber advantage for the side of Seed. You see him playing pretty far back. They're not 100% sure about this doorway, especially with Nevo towards the Pyro on main anyway. Oh, Nasboy going down kind of sucks there. At least they do manage to trade out 2 more. It's going to be pretty hard, because now there's actually going to be a soldier basically landing towards Seeds and get... Oh, like... That sucks, man. That
yeah, that
sucks.
sucked, yeah. That was kind of bad. But Seeds actually did have a decent position. Only just knocked himself into the surf against the rock there, so it was kind of a little bit unfortunate for him. But Connor now coming up with 100% Uber advantage, and he is going to have this on the point here. They are going to be looking potentially to take an aggressive Uber, but they are both bombing in for Connor. Connor with a nice surf back. Woo! Does not get forced. Nasboy now sacking in on his own. A little bit disconnected from the rest of the sacks. Is going to come up with that 6-second extra respawner, and is going to have to... The rest of the blue team actually retreating back into spawn. This forward hold probably going to be coming out here with full Uber advantage. Not the position you want to be in.
That is absolutely huge for Condog there. Like, he took 40 damage from 3 bombing players, maintaining that massive Uber advantage. Like, this is going to get them good time towards point. This is now going to be like another, 10-15 seconds where they got to stand around, peek, prod, see what's going on, and SVIFT have got to try and get into a position to deal with something. So that one little play from Condog is going to mean so much for his team. So credit where it's due. That was pretty sick.
That was pretty sick indeed. Seeds actually survived all of that, though. He's going to be popping this Uber around the corner. It's being a Captain J Uber, as Captain uses the Uber to get in deep on behind. Airshots Amrock away from him for the defense. Nubby actually going down once again on the left-hand side. Can't seem to escape Nevo's clutches, but Nasboy finding the pick up to Amrock there as he does bomb around, catch him up with a few stickies. Captain making so much room for his team. Sorix and Condog unfortunately get super distracted and get absolutely crushed on house. That's going to be a wipe.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Captain going all the way behind. Like I said, hitting that little defensive airshot, keeping himself alive. That position, once there's a soldier behind you, players in front of you, and people are constantly thinking, do I look forward, do I look back? Are we going to get pincered? Like, when are we actually going to get aggressed on? It means so much.
Yeah, Nevo actually fed in main there. This is going to be a little bit of a delay here, as you don't really want to push when you have all 5... Well, you have 1 down, so you're left with 5 players. You want all 6 when you're trying to get this push out going, and you don't really want to lose anyone. Otherwise, your effectiveness coming into that high ground position that they're going to have is just brutally destroyed. As we've got Nasboy pitching up there on Cliff, just a typical high... forward hold here, but we are seeing Nubby now bombing on top of Eames. He does get taken down there. No one is on top of Seeds. They haven't managed to break this at all. Amarok is actually super low. They're totally disconnected from their medic as well, as Nevo is still up on the Pyro, and they haven't really managed to get anywhere with this. They're just feeding time to SVIFT, it feels like at this point, as Nubby actually getting down there, and they can now posture aggressively, as they do have that 1-man advantage.
They do, but then they have a Pyro, not the most aggressive of classes, and by the time they get to point and trade that Uber, it is going to be Nubby getting back to his players anyway, so all this time is looking pretty good for SVIFT. Finally, we see the Zora Electro players start moving towards point. They can use Uber way early. This would be a fairly significant advantage here for Seeds, but losing Captain on the backlines makes this now more difficult. The refight is going to be considerably better for Aura Electro. Even losing Nevo, they should be in a, I want to say, a decent position.
Oh!
And yet, Nasboy just piped the players out of the server, and the rest of them just kind of walked forward.
Sorry, what's that? Damage? As Nasboy absolutely annihilates, and Nevo there did absolutely nothing. The two soldiers were just jumping around him, and he was like, I can reflect a rocket, and just didn't reflect a single thing. And just stood around, got shot at by scouts, and died. It was absolutely useless there. Maybe the swap-off would have been better, but now we are going to see the red side moving back forwards now as Seeds and Connor both on even Ubers. So it's just going to be a bit of an even fight here towards the point, and Aura Electro definitely want to take this. 30 seconds left on the clock, a full minute advantage to the side of SVIFT here. As Nevo and Jezunis, the flank there, getting super low, but they're not playing the same tight scout formation that SVIFT seem to be employing and could learn a thing or two there. As Amarok bombs forward now, trying to get some space for his team. Does actually acquire that space, but the aggression just isn't there, and Eames gets caught out by Jay.
No.
Super aggressive there as Nasboy pipes him into the air. He gets easily cleaned up, and it is going to be Connor now just attacking from main. Single scout Uber. Seeds takes forever to use, and this Uber is going to get absolutely shafted. Connor just going in for the swords. Doesn't actually find it. Just goes straight down to Nubby, and it is going to be a cleanup onto Sorix in main. This is going to be the point. It's going to be 2-0.
Super well played position there from SVIFT. Like, the amount of pressure they have towards point, you saw, like, granted, it was a time-sensitive situation, or actually they had to try and move forward. They had no choice but to pressure, but SVIFT's pressure on, like, every other side, they basically just annihilated their entire flank before the Uber could even get used, at which point, like, that was it, right? Like, that Uber just, it basically was pointless.
Yeah, we're going to see how Aura Electro are going to change the cards in this game as we bomb a soldier behind immediately. Azuna's going behind, Amrock going forwards. Captain now with the counter bomb into the combo. Tons of damage. Azunas, Amrock, and Connor all weak. They're about to get destroyed here. How is Connor still alive? Actually goes down there as Nubby bombs through eventually to clean him up. And there's tons of damage in main now from Nasboy. As you've got Sorix now bombing directly in, just rushing the demo map, but does not find anything. Seeds actually gets nuked by Azunas and goes down. That's a huge frag from him. It's going to be a faster respawn for Connor, as no one has actually capped out this point yet. I don't think they want to, because they end up with equal spawners on that first cap. And Nevo actually in behind is going to get eventually cleaned up by the blue side. Or not. Or not.
No, he's actually going to go straight to
Oh my god, he kills Nasboy. That's a really good pick.
What a weird trade. What a weird trade. Still, no one's capped the point just yet, and it's actually so much damage towards some of these players. It's still SVIFT not quite in a position. Eventually, they will just about get control of the cap. It'll be Nevo just about spawning with the rest of his team, but the damage is already looking good. Eames wants to take that charge, wants to take that position, get into that front side point position to start damaging these players behind point, but he's gone super deep, going to be dragging some players back. This is the opportunity for the rest of SVIFT to start moving towards point as well, but their health's also not 100% great. It's going to be scrappy on point.
Yeah, Amarok got absolutely destroyed there on the rock by Nasboy. Just Timmy 2 pipes him down into the floor. Eames gets demolished as well now, and it's going to be Captain trying to get that forward position. Gets super low immediately. Azunas is there on the flank, on connector. Captain cannot avoid all this damage. And Eames just moving forward on his own, totally disconnected from the team. Gets annihilated by Nasboy. This team is playing so disconnected against the powerhouses of SVIFT currently. And they don't even finish out the cap there. Now they're going to edge the cap and get it, just so Eames has a little bit of a better spawner. But unfortunately, Connor drops Sorix, and Seeds is nowhere near the fight. He's still in pocket. He's chilling out. Doesn't need to use the Zuba whatsoever. The bomb from Amarok though, coming in high. Seeds doesn't see him, gets the bomb, but Seeds does use the Uber. Nice awareness from him just to know to use it.
That was a little bit tragic there for Sorix. Not only does he die, but he got a 17-second respawn. That's how bad it can be dying when you have control of point. It is horrendous. But speaking of dying, there's a lot going on in this little corner map. Oh my god, everyone is just running at absolutely everyone. I mean, Condog's gone down. Okay, Seed is looking good if he can play the advantage, but turns out it's just him and Jay. They got to back up all the way. They can play off like a 35% advantage. Even Jay's going a little bit too aggressive. I can see Seeds right now sitting there just like, dude, can we heal, please?
Dude, can we please heal, please? That's nice. Yeah, nice. Anyway, blue team are going to be coming out of the cliff area right now, and they are going to be getting super aggressive on the cliff. Amarok bombing in to spot them all out, and actually launch. Captain with a huge air shot to demolish him in a skybox, and they just retreat in fear. Look, they're just out.
Oh, it's difficult to come back from that. It is genuinely so difficult to come back from that. Mentally, emotionally, physically, he's basically out the server now. And I feel like SVIFT has started to feel themselves. They're like, oh yeah, we're kind of sick. We're taking out Eames as well. This is all good, all good.
Wow, that was incredible. That's going in the frag maybe somewhere. Anyway, continue back in the game. Sorix and Condog and Nevo are going to be opting for this position behind the rock in the death zone, as I like to call it. Amrock does actually get crushed and dropped by the Uber, unfortunately. But Sorix and Condog are going to be running away from this one as Jay is taking a super aggressive Uber in towards Eames. But Eames gets bombed by Nubby. Nice little bomb. Let's get aggression as Nasboy is all the way forwards. Could get caught out here, but does get the Seeds beam. And Eames is going to be just re-aggressing now in towards these scouts, trying to take as much room as he can without the aggression of soldiers. Amrock now comes in. Jezunis receives an arrow, so he's now in a position to make a bomb happen. And they can get this aggression going once more. It's going to be another even fight here. Nasboy receiving tons of damage himself. And he's going to have to move back a little bit. Captain now in with the bomb. Doesn't do any damage to Connor. And it's going to be rough now as Amrock now bombing in forwards. And not really finding anything else. Just this to and fro of both these teams. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking down because no one is focusing this cap eepily.
No, not so far. We do see a couple players behind Slemnish, so actually all the way on the back lines. And with Condog being weak, there's going to be a significant time window for him to play with. But he's going to get spotted by Jezunis. But thankfully, Scout Class in 2020 actually just doesn't care. 2 shots him down. Goodbye. And he's even now, like, having this team be aware of him is going to be so annoying. Neither wants to take the 1v1. Does clutch that out nice and easily, but we find ourselves equal Ubers. Going to be another trade happening just about any second. Captain going down before it even gets used isn't super good. With Nubby? Okay. He basically just stood there. They have no soldiers, they have no position, they have no spam. Goodbye. They need to get the hell out of here, or Seeds going to be soon meeting his maker.
Seeds, he was gone a long time ago. He saw the aggression happening and he was just gone. There was no one even staring at him, and I think Aura Electro knew as well. We're not catching the medic on this one. He was just staring up at them. But we're now taking this really weird, strange fight. But the faster respawners from the blue team are going to pay dividends here as Nubby bombs in nice and deep. And we are still waiting 9 seconds on Eames, so no demo man on the red side for a long time. We now get the spawners coming out from all of the blue players as Nasboy now comes back in. They're able to recap this without having to delay any further. And they have only got 23 seconds left on this clock to tick down. So Aura Electro got to make something happen here, Eepily.
Yeah, they need to do something absolutely huge, and Seeds is going to get his Uber any second now. Like, that delays things so much longer. It makes it so difficult to get that cap time to begin with to ensure that you've got that overtime. So this is going to be the big push that they need, moving all the way towards point, getting some cap time in the form of Eames, but he's going down so low. So even post Uber, he's going to be hurt. Sorix just gets nuked down before anything happens. Yeah, Eames not long for this world at all. They're desperately trying to get this cap time, but there's just not really enough of these players. It's going to have to be SVIFT picking them apart just about, but somehow Jezunis has managed to get 2 frags. Can he possibly get any more? No.
Oh, Connor was looking for the arrow and didn't quite hit it. If he hit it, it might have happened.
Oh,
one reloaded rocket.
Oh, Sorix, baby,
Sorix!
Sorix, you
just go on! Oh, eepily! Oh, they did it! They managed to get it. eepily just... Oh, God. They actually called GG in chat. And the clock is still ticking down. They are waiting for the spawners to come out, unfortunately. And they've still called GG. No one is going for the cap. I think they're actually giving up this game. They're just giving it away to SVIFT.
No. Yeah, really? No, I don't believe that. What are you talking... Why are they doing these things? Why are they playing with my heart like this? Brothers, get in the game. Keep playing this cap time. Keep playing these advantages, even losing Connor. Keep on this fight.
No, they don't want it. I think they're giving it up for sure. I mean, otherwise they would have just capped it out right at the end there. Unless Eames is screaming, "We're not going to mid!" And then that's all they've got. Eames on super... Yeah, see, they are just capping it until it's nearly done. They're trying to draw out this overtime as much as they can. I think that's all they're doing. They're torturing us.
They're doing it. They're doing it.
Oh, they didn't even cap! Oh, it's so close. They're going to do the same thing again, I think. I wonder how long they can keep this going.
This is the biggest... smallest brain plays I've ever seen in my life. Unfortunately, they are actually 2 down now, so I don't know how much longer they can keep playing this game. As an Uber's actually,
they're
and Condog does not have a reaction. Yeah. Okay, I think this will actually be it.
That's it. Oh! Airshot from Captain there right at the end to destroy Eames. Beautiful. As there we go, it is 3-0 on the scoreboard. SVIFT going to be taken away 3 whole points from this official. It looks like, yeah, 3 whole points from this official. And moving forwards here into the next game with a lot of confidence, I think they would have found, because that was pretty convincing. It was, like, I guess sort of close. They were managing to get time on the board, especially in the first round. They were doing a really good job of just trying to get this to and fro going from SVIFT, which is kind of what you need to do, bouncing around these Ubers. But then in the second and third game, they sort of lost that.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was yeah, there was some scrappy, fairly even fights for some of it, like especially to begin with. And then they were just kind of like, all right, now we're just going to assert dominance, right? Take control of the game. This is going to be like within our hands. And then Aura kind of just, like, I don't want to say fell to pieces because it didn't feel like that. They just kind of could never really get themselves back into it. I don't know whether it's just kind of going down a couple rounds then it suddenly feels like such a mountain to push back from, or whether maybe they just weren't quite feeling themselves. But like, Vada can be a weird map sometimes, you know, losing momentum can hurt so bad.
Yeah, I think it really did actually come down to that sort of double scout aggression that they had going on. They're a lot more coordinated on the side of SVIFT. They managed to get all these like small advantages by bombing soldiers behind and playing this 3 combo style with the demo man in the back and both scouts in the foreground. And Seeds, he had both scouts in his view basically the entire time. The Jay was a little bit more on the beam as the pocket scout, of course, and is going to be receiving the majority of those heals when Slemnish is obviously trying to stop a soldier from bombing behind. But often they played this very tight style that could not be countered, and Aura Electro deciding not to bomb their soldiers behind because they were just getting absolutely obliterated whenever they tried to go anywhere by these 2 scouts that were just barreling down on them. So I think that was probably the main issue they had, just a lack of soldier aggression, and they just couldn't get their team forward. Eames actually only getting 4 frags in that game, eepily.
Yeah, see, I was going to point out one of the biggest comparisons, like, to get an idea of how a Vardok game went, I feel like you can usually rely on the medic death stats, right? Because usually that's a good indicator of how well the teams have gone. And when, I don't know, when Seeds dies a quarter of like Condogs, that's just...
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be so difficult. It's keeping heals constant, because basically Vardok is it's effectively constantly pressuring and peeking and prodding, or just outright fighting, right? When that's not happening, it's all about playing these uber advantages or disadvantages or whatever like that, right? The medic is so fundamental, and seizes a natural ability to just somehow keep himself perpetually alive, even with a team like this which is, you know, not necessarily playing with the same people always, and, you know, not necessarily playing like 5 times a week. It's kind of crazy. Like, he definitely a super impactful player there. Even though we did see some nutty stuff from Condog as well.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be said, there were some great serves coming out of Connor in that game. There's no BM towards him, but
he was trying, dude. He was trying.
He was trying super hard. I mean, I don't even feel like Seeds even gets pressured. He doesn't even see the enemy team for half the game. And Connor is just on the opposite. He's a super aggressive medic. We've just seen the tail end of 2 playstyles here. Connor, the aggressive medic, likes to be forward with his team, ready to take those Ubers when he needs to, and Siege just plays mega passive and chills, and make sure he distributes the heals in a way that his team knows about and can control, and just plays a very controlled playstyle. Much like, it's very 7-esque, I think this team we can put down to, don't you think, for that? And... the numbers do show in the heals as well, in the logs, managing to get a whole, like, nearly 2,500 extra heals than Connor pumped out.
I feel like, you know, Vardok was it was a 3-0. It was, you know, a little bit one-sided, let's say. Don't want to dwell too much on that, because we do have a second map going on. We're going back into the world of 5CP as well, going straight into our Snakewater map, which is kind of a classic within the game. Everyone's played it 100,000 times, and it's something where, I mean, it is not uncommon at all to have an official where one team dominates on the Koth map, and then go into 5CP and we see the exact polar opposite happen, right? There's so many fundamental differences in terms of how 5CP and how Koth are played. Sometimes you can just be a really good team at 5CP and kind of just suck a Koth.
Yeah, this is going to be where the coordination of Aura Electro really does show, because, I mean, they've been pretty solid, as far as I'm aware, on the 5CP maps that they've played so far. Obviously, winning out every single official they played. They had a bit of a bye week against the Gay Jail, and absolutely destroying them. But all in all, I do believe that they could have what it takes. I mean, I am in no shadow of a doubt thinking that they are a bad team based off of that official alone. Just that one map. They are an excellent team with excellent prowess, and they know what they're doing with Eames on the main call, that massive brain just bringing this team into the forefront of Premiership. And it's going to be cool to see about the strategies that are going to be employed by SVIFT in order to try and take down this very prominent EU squad.
I feel like I'm going to have to make you do some predictions. Because I predicted on Viaduct, right?
Yes.
And I was really wrong. I don't know if you noticed. I was really horrendously wrong with my predictions. I'm not going to shrug it off. I'm not very good at predicting, apparently. Going into this, what do you think? Oh my god, dude, get to live.
We're going live. I'm just going to pump it out there. I'm just going to say it's going to be 3-1 to the side of SVIFT. I think we're going to have a nice, slow and controlled game, eepily, as we are now heading and making our way into the first mid. Good luck, have fun to both teams in this game. Aura Electro versus SVIFT, Season 36, Week 4 official game. And Eames and Nasboy are going to be heading to mid now, and they're just pinging stickies across each other. Both teams going to be opting to just chill out on this top area now, but a super fast aggression coming out from the side of Electro straight into Nubby. They do manage to take him down. They're being stuffed into this corner here. Seeds is still on top of Catwalk as Caps is now moving forwards on towards Connor, and Connor is super out of position, getting pinged out by Nasboy, but he has the wiggles there. Unfortunately, they all get taken down very slowly, one by one, from the defensive hold of SVIFT.
That was honestly a pretty easy mid for SVIFT. Like, at no point was Seeds in any danger. They committed those 2 soldier bombs, nice and aggressive, onto Saw for the side of Electro. Then they kind of... It's like those trades where you just about trade out your players, but you're always the first death, right? Their soldier dies first, and then they just about trade. Then a soldier dies, and then they just about trade. But by time that you managed to just about get that trade frag, another one of their players was dying. And it was just trading out basically the whole way. Suddenly, SVIFT found themselves in just such a good position. Captain's flank was super nice as well. Really, really confident stuff. And now they've earned themselves a big old Uber advantage.
And they are popping it directly into last. Jay is going to be leading the charge in. Nasboy now on towards that sentry gun. Does receive the flash as the sentry gun goes down. Jezunis getting low, so he's not going to be able to contest the point at all. Jay's just playing it. And Amrock goes in for the bomb, gets super weak on point. Bird Scout's diving for it now. Connor gets the saw. And actually gets the Uber charge there for the defense. Connor coming in clutch on this last hold here. They are now going to be chasing back out into second, but Seeds and Slemnish now just going to be escaping all the way back in towards mid. You just got condoled.
That is very, very true. That was super, super sick. The spawns are going to be coming in. Slemnish is starting to feel himself as well. And I feel like Electro has just had to take a breather for a moment, just only getting to bulk towards their big spamming classes. Jezunis is going to be going super deep, but only as a distraction. They want to force some of these players out. Get that frag towards Jay. Makes things a little bit better, but this is Seeds with about 25% Uber advantage. They can go off this, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty disconnected from the rest of the team there with 2 scouts in grass. Another going to be 1 down for this push, but I mean, they can probably make it happen here as they start bombing through in towards Saw. There is little to no pressure on this Saw area, so they are all just walking in for free. Eames is the only one that's going to be spamming them here, and Nevo now coming in from Cheese on Siege, does manage to get the force out. And this is going to be a little bit disastrous for them now as Connor is actually going to be coming back in. They're going to be looking for the block here as they do use the Uber out. The Captain is coming in, but they do not find the Cap. Seeds may be caught out of position here as eventually he's going to get taken out by Sorex. And now got Captain in with the replay now. They're collapsing in super deep, but they get munched by Jezunis as the bomb comes in from Nasboy in towards Connor, and they can't quite find him. Slemnish going to be lower though, taking the fight with Amrock, and he is just running around, running circles around this side of our Electro. Going to be taking the 1-1 with Nevo. Key wins that one as well on the 6k. Eames with the pipe though, says, "Stop it, boy. Stop murdering my team."
That was actually such a keyhole pipe through like 3 different doors. That was kind of sick. I was like a little bit scared there for Eames, right? I was like, I don't know, man. If Slem lives, it doesn't really matter. He's 60 HP. He can just kind of run at you. But Eames going to keep his team in the game now. They've got themselves a little Uber advantage. We do see Jay sniping with the 130 ping sniper as well. So someone's going to be dying around a corner. That's basically guaranteed at this point. And Electro's just got to be prepared to accept that if they want to start trying to take this point for free.
Sorry, what's that interp hacks I hear coming in? It's actually Connor walks in, eats a pipe to the dome immediately, and is going to just be playing nice and passive here. They do want to try and get this retake without having to use the Uber. And Amrock actually getting cleaned up by Nasboy there as he dives directly into pipe. Jay is actually going to be watching from this balcony area, but Seeds now walking in, has Uber, gets piped, doesn't use immediately, and now uses. They are going to take this trade on the point. They do not have the cap. So the forward spawn's not even coming out. Nasboy needs a flash, does get saved as Jezunis goes down. Sork's pushing into Kitchen as well, on towards Nubby. Going to be taking that fight. Is going to be left alone by Electro as they all just retreat out of mid. And this could be a nice second push coming out for the side of SVIFT.
Yeah, like they should be pretty much uncontested here. Even with these players on the side of Electro pretty far back, it's only going to be random spam. Really, it's brave if they want to commit. They get 1 frag, it's possible, but Nobby's actually gone in super deep all the way through Cheese. He's basically just walking directly behind Condog. He's just doing the slow life and he dies! Oh, Nobby!
It was so big and it was so juicy. He had it in his sights. He was practically quaking over it. And unfortunately doesn't find it as Connor with the 6th sense does dive around. And Eames now going to be bombing forwards. Super aggressive as Seeds is going to be retreating here. Super low HP on Seeds as Jezunis now chases in towards lower. Tries to fire a rocket but doesn't quite find the pick and just escapes on his own. Captain actually getting taken down in the backlines. And they are now going to be frantically capping, trying to block these spawners. And it looks like they're going to be successful.
Yeah, they will be. So this is a 2-man advantage here, just about if they can get a move on. It is equal Uber zone. So at any point, Nasboy and Steve, they can go for a trade and just basically play this on out for the time. Nuking Eames down at the start, that is a pretty good way to go. They even managed to body block some of these players, even with a worse Uber. It's not really that bad if they want to try and commit forward. Like I said, there's no spam in the form of Amarok and Eames, so it's only really this one soldier, Jezunis, and he's already getting spammed off the high ground. He is gone, and the rest of his team is off with him just like, bye-bye. We are not feeling like taking this 4 versus 6 right now. Justifiable.
Yeah, Eames got cyberbullied right there, and Nasboy just walked at him and killed him, and Connor was like, well, he's dead. No, nothing I could do there, and that's all that was
Unlucky, really, you know?
Yeah,
Sometimes
Nubby actually
that just happens.
Yeah, Nubby actually feeds his life away there, so it's going to be even Ubers, but one player down, so they're going to be looking to sack in towards mid, or just straight up push as Sorks and Amarok dive in, eat tons of damage, and die. And Jezunis is going to be diving in on the point as well, trying to get seeds, doesn't find anything, and Eames now peeking on Saw in a very precarious position, is now getting chased down by Slemnish, but does receive the beam from Connor. They do have full Uber, and Connor is actually looking to stay in. He's calling it. He's staying there. He's totally disconnected from his team. Sorks is the only man with him, does eventually pop out this Uber, and Sorks now taking the solo Uber, totally disconnected from the rest of the team. Eames is actually on bats right now. He does not give a flying anything about this one.
That's tragic. That's absolutely tragic. I just saw Connor do like 360s, like, my boys, where we going? We got the Uber, what's happening? They literally just lost second with a massive Uber disadvantage, and now they're facing just a barreling Swift. Like, and even losing Jezunis at the end, this is just, oh, this is an absolute nightmare.
Ain't no Connoisseur's going to save you here as he has now backed out into the respawn. Eames actually has stickies on point, however the corner spot is free to be played as Neva gets taken down. Nubby actually getting fragged. Amarok is down as well. Eames now going to be righteously defending this point as much as he can. Jezunis in with the bomb. This could be a really good defense. Coming out as Captain gets fragged as well. Nasboy getting cleaned up in lower, and that is going to be a wipe for SVIFT. And Aura Electro, they're coming in with a clutch defense.
That's crazy. I don't even really understand how they did that. Honestly, like those stickies towards point, I guess, delayed them just long enough. Jay took so much damage, they had to like step off the point, but I don't know. I feel like there was maybe a world where they could have just committed harder to point or something, but no point wishing what you could have done. This is going to be big Uber advantage now for Electro. Taking down Slemnish already. We do see Nubby Sniper. Might be a little bit aware of that, but they're taking down Captain as well.
They lose 2 and have Monkey Class. Not sure what they're going to be able to achieve right now as Nubby actually does get spotted there. The rockets are now coming out. Nubby getting super weak. Does eventually get the power. Amarok's in deep. Does find him. It's going to be a free frag for him.
Look at this coast to coast. They're literally just going the entire way. Uber's now been used. They're going committing throughout left-hand side. Siege is basically going all the way into spawn. He kind of has to get caught in there. 95% now takes that little bit of damage. They should be aware that this Uber's coming out. They haven't even capped second yet. On the side of Aura Electro, they committed so deep. Losing Eames, and then no, not Amarok as well.
Oh
Baby,
no!
what are you doing?
Oh god, Connor is all alone on grass, totally disconnected from the rest of the team. The second cap did not come out as Nubby finds the cleanup on towards Nevo. Sorks is deep in behind, going to be trying to just meme around in lower here as Nubby now spots him. That does take the 1v1, and they both trade out, which is fine for them because they're going to be able to move forwards here. No forward spawners on the side of Aura because they never finished the cap. They were just too busy being mega aggressive, and you could argue that they would have got a lot more out of this if they just played passive and chilled.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely argue that. You'd possibly be correct in saying that, but it doesn't matter, right? Because these guys are Prem, and they know what's up, probably. There was probably some big brain plan somewhere. Don't care, not bother, doesn't matter. Basically equal Ubers. We're going to see Aura Electro pressuring all the way towards grass. They can see the passive positioning from basically the entirety of Swift at this point, so they're thinking, all right, gonna get a little bit cheeky, gonna see if we can walk up, try and take point for free, possibly. Swift thinks this is a bigger advantage for the side of Aura Electro.
Nubby's in behind.
He has to jump behind. There's no way. I was going to say.
Slemnish is in. Gets the force. That's pretty PogChamp as he goes all the way in deep and manages to get the force in towards Condor there. A very good job coming out from him as he manages to catch it. And now 2 players down on the side of SVIFT. eepily, what do you reckon they're going to get up to here?
I reckon they're going to wait for their spawns and they're going to go for a big boy Uber push basically any second now. We can see the stick swords top left as you'd expect and on main. So we might see an aggressive big boy jump if they're feeling it. They fancied it. Nasboy's going. Yep, he's taking the jump, but he's going to get nuked into the ground. A little bit unfortunate jump. He's not going to be catching anything. Nevo on the back lines. Oh my god, he... What? What? How did he get Condog? How was Condog... What?
Yikes. We're now seeing everyone forming in for seeds though, and they do manage to take down seeds on the collapse there. Just Sorex and Amarok bombing in there for that frag, but it doesn't matter because they've lost the rest of their team. Condor's going to be spawning with Nevo, which means they are going to have a bit of an Uber advantage coming out here as they are getting forward spawners here. Jezunis just taking the 1v1 with Nubby in lower, and that could actually be really good for them here. Slemnish and Nubby still down. Even though they could get forward spawners, the rest of Aura Electro are now up and coming in towards mid, and that kill onto Nubby has cost them mid.
Yep, it has so far. Even with Massboy being super weak as well, it's going to be pretty difficult. Yeah, God, look at both these scouts taking so much damage. It's kind of crazy they both managed to live there, but it is Captain who pays with his life throughout all of it. Nubby is still towards forward spawn. He is in a decent position if he does want to pressure just a little bit, but Aura Electro, they want to pressure just enough to see if they can go for an opportunity. They're capping mid as well, just only getting that, and okay. The stickies from Massboy is going to pick up Nevo, and that's kind of a sad way to end that situation. But, I mean, it's not too bad, right? At least, you know, no one got dropped or anything.
Yeah, at least no one got dropped at all. And they are now going to be taking this slow fight on grass. Eames is all the way in deep before his team is even in. So we do see Amarok bomb nice and deep. They are going to be chewing the same damage here. Seed's actually getting forced there on Bats. Connor hasn't even used it, but once again, Connor in the aggressive position to take this super aggro Uber as Jezunis goes bombing in towards Captain to try and get some space for his team. But they aren't finding anything with this Uber, and the aggression comes out. Oh, the collapse from the soldiers. Oh no, eepily. They get demolished as the bomb comes in. They don't find the damage onto Seeds, and he survives.
That was just, oh god, that was just brutal. That was a brutal ending to that little situation. Timing on these Swift soldiers, they just know what's going on, you know. They just got their brains, and it's going to be absolutely perfect for them. So, as per usual, this is looking pretty comfortable for them. They got this Uber advantage, this player advantage. They can try and stack the point to deny Jezunis, but won't quite be lucky enough in doing that. They will have to be aware of this Nevo sniper in spawn, who is just sitting in his little doorway trying to find an opportunity.
Yeah, they know he's there though. He has fired, and Nubby actually finds him and he goes for the back spawn pretty immediately. Lower has been totally sticky as his Captain goes in for a bomb. A little bit of a janky one there as they do find a Jezunis with the damage that he manages to pump out. And they are going to just be taking this second cap for free, and they're going to be wanting to roll it in towards Liza. Seeds pop super early, just around that corner so he doesn't get bucket trapped, it looks like, as they are now going straight for the cap. No one is out spawn, and that's going to be 1-0.
That was absolutely crisp. Super easy. They just went straight on in, forced all of the Aura Electro players basically into spawn. There was no one towards point to really block it. There's no sticks there as well. They basically just tickled the very edge of the point with their scouts, and then it was just easy peasy, objective-based gaming. Nothing push.
That's the way you want to play it when you're playing super coordinated like SVIFT are trying to achieve. So we want 0 coming into the next mid, and we can see Aura Electro want to try and take some rounds back off them to get back into this game, as we are seeing now once again the super aggressive medic positioning to aid those bombs forward. As Jezunis and Amarok bombing super deep. They do find Nasboy and Captain. They do find Slamnish in lower as well, but Connor on the backlines gets crushed by Captain, and it is going to be Seeds now just retreating out with Jay through lower.
Yep, they're going to be backing all the way. We do see aggressive players still trying to move forward just a little bit on the side of Aura Electro, but ultimately they've just realized no one is actually capping mid at all. So we should probably chill a little bit. Eames gets to put up just, I don't know, random, vague semblances of sticky traps towards second, but he can't even afford to stay there too long. He can get this little bit of info for his team, but he's going to be aware that Seeds getting out with Jay means there's going to be a huge advantage. Oh, hello! I take that back! Eames has got the traps, apparently.
Yeah, he walked out of Bats, and Eames had a super messy trap on top of Bats to just take him out. He spied the trap and shot it to try and avoid it, but then nothing happened. Anyway, Seeds is going to be running through here, and they do use straight through the doorway. Slemish is lost, but Eames, potentially the bigger frag being lost here, as they do manage to clean him up. 2-man advantage, though, to the side of Aura Electro. They can make a repush happen if they want to. All 5 players going to be moving forwards here in towards Nubby, and he's just going to be bombing super high. He does get spotted by both scouts, and that's not what you want to see, as Connor there totally avoids all of the damage, and they are going to be able to retake this midpoint away from them eepily with the Uber advantage.
Super nice. Getting that point for free is super fundamental to playing high quality TF2. So it's going to be Connor moving all the way towards second. We did see a sniper for just a second peeking, but it is going to be Slemnish just fairly far back towards right side lobby now. He, I believe, will be spotted just about any second because the Uber's coming all the way through lower. Oh, the headshot! No! Oh, and he gets another!
That's not what you want. Surely that's the one thing you're super aware of when you're coming through lower, especially in a Premiership team. Like, going to be running up, and that one sniper angle can kill you so hard on the push. It's just, oh god, disgusting. And as he takes down 2, Slemnish there with the MVP gameplay to totally annihilate that push, as they're now heading directly into mid. With Seeds 100% Uber advantage for him, and they're going to be slamming it directly onto this mid point here. Eames has a few stickies darted around the point there, but isn't going to really find anything as the stickies are dead. Naspoy nearly actually falls to them. But they are now going to be transferring this directly into a second push. The coast to coast is back on.
You're about to witness the impact that one single play can make, because right now they've already taken 2 points of free. This third one, they've just about taken any second now. Condog just about getting his Uber. How does Eames get... What was he doing on Pipe? How did he get to Pipe? Explain the world in which Eames ends up on Pipe. Now they play without a demo. We're seeing Jezunis desperately trying to play just a little bit forward to try and, I don't know, prevent some people from going in. The captain's got such a sick bomb! It sucks that he missed everything!
Oh my god, Connor goes super low, hits the Banny Bind in the spawn door, and does manage to survive, but meanwhile, 3 players have gone down. Amrock is super weak in the corner. He's going to have to jump out to spawn, but Jay's there with the cleanup as their entire team are now flooding into last. Naspoy now going to be pumping out this damage in towards the point. I don't think he's actually got any stickies loaded whatsoever, as the Ubers now get traded out, and there's going to be Seeds now calling for the rest of the team to come back in for the collapse on the post Uber. We do have the red respawners coming in towards the point here, as that's what's going to be playing it now. Jezunis is going to be defending it. And it's going to be Sorix now moving back towards that point. And Connor is the furthest player forward here, just trying to receive some of this damage so his teammates survive. He's just body blocking that Slemnish damage. Jezunis bombing in now. Nubby gets destroyed, and it is going to be a cap coming out as 2-0.
Jesus Christ, man. This is... Woo!
Christ.
Things are happening in this game. Things are happening.
Good lord, things are happening indeed. That last push was scrappy as hell.
I'm going to have to say, like, I don't know, any position where you have a beam attached to Slemish and Jay is just terrifying. It's just so scary, dude. Oh my, Nubby's in.
Nubby's in deep onto Eames. He gets the kill! Jay finishes him off with a stray scattergun shot. Amrock's going to be bombing in nice and high. Nevo and Jezunis getting aggressive here in towards Seeds. They want to avenge their fallen Eames, but unfortunately Nevo gets picked off there. Jezunis with the bombing gets shut down immediately by the stickies of Naspoy. Amrock's going to be angling towards Kitchen, but needs to get the hell out of here. Sorix is now just wanting to run away from the team. Condog's escaping. Eames on the respawner, but this is going to be his 5th mid.
Jay is actually just bullying Amrock with his pistol right now. Okay, Amrock does just manage to take every health back he could possibly find on this map. He will be backing up, and it's now time for Electric to pressure just a little bit to maintain their control towards second point. Breathe, relax for just a second.
Nubby.
I say as Nubby walks in, hits one target already.
Oh, okay. It could have been so good. And Condog dropping the bind, you can't kill the king, brackets me. Very classy. Anyway, we're going to be moving in here in towards the Saw area as they want to occupy this space. Try and get some aggression going. Captain now in with the deep bomb in towards Connor. Doesn't find a single point of damage. It's going to be Nubby back on the respawner as Jezunis tried to make a counter-attack happen but did not find anything. And Slemnish is going to be walking back towards his medic. They're going to be playing this dual scout defense once again. That very tight formation that they like to play.
Yep, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. Spawners coming up now. We do see Nubby's going to be on the sniper now. I believe doors have been... Oh, no, doors don't even need to be held. Nubby's already been on sniper this whole time. I don't even care. Look at that. He's got angles, dude. He's feeling himself. He's checking his little doorway. He's going to see what's happening. I believe he hasn't taken a shot just yet, so they may not be 100% aware of exactly where he's going to be coming from. But now they do see him because he's just taking a hard scope all the way and not quite hitting the shot.
They just Uber in.
He's just been used.
They kill Nubby immediately with the Uber. Seeds now pops out that Uber. Sorix ran in Billy Big Nuts directly into the blue side, but they are now going to be retreating here. Jezunis have to take 1-1 with Slemnish. Immediately gets TV2 shot and goes down. It's going to be a 2-man advantage. The side is 5th, and they can now barrel through this choke if they want to, but it looks like Captain now coming out the window on towards Connor. Nice crisp rocket to find him, and he does go down. It's going to be 2 scouts on the ground here. Not really getting any high ground position here. Sorix needs to clutch this one out. Does get flanked by Slemnish. Lands a nice meat shot into his face, but unfortunately does not find anything there, and does in fact concede the second point.
We're going to find ourselves in that same kind of position. Swift are pretty comfortable sitting towards second now. They're going to be building their crispy old Uber advantage. It's going to be about 60%, actually over 60% now. And that's going to be super difficult to play against. This is, obviously we've seen some pretty crispy last pushes so far. Only really a sniper in terms of a defensive off class This is going to be rough. We're going to need some kind of Slemnish style play to be able to hold these balls off.
Slemnish style play, indeed. A nice crisp headshot to the dome, but Siege uses through that door. He's not dropping any Ubers today. Nasboy, it's super deep with the bomb. Gets cleaned up by Eames immediately. And there's Amarok now, the only frag here, but the cap just comes directly out from Jay. Sits in the corner, gets the cap. Amarok puts stop in chat.
Oh, mate. That cap, like, honestly, they Ubered Shutter, and then 2 seconds later, last was cap, and that was it. We're finding ourselves 3-0 up for the side of Swift, and they are looking so hot today. There's still 10 minutes left in the game. There's still a lot Aura can do to bring this back, but they need to fight the mental game as well as the old pointy click one.
The old pointy click game that they are playing that is Team Fortress of the two, and Jezunis is going to be opting this high ground once again. We're going to see if they want to do this dual aggression, but Nubby's in behind on Saw, getting so much pressure towards Connor, and they immediately slam him into the dirt. Seeds is nowhere to be seen by the red team, so they need to try and get a collapse happening, as he does now get spotted out. Sorex and Nevo are going to be in. Amarok goes in on Seeds, but Seeds with a nice little surf there is going to be jumping towards the window, does not manage to get out of it, however, so it's just going to be an even 1v1s all over the place, as somehow Aura Electro are managing to find frags. Nasboy going down as well. Nevo is going to get caught out by Slemnish, unfortunately, on the overchase, but it's going to be a mid-cap out from the red side.
Looking pretty good. We do have Conlog because he's spawning by himself, just only now healing, which is basically the same time as Seed spawned anyway, so... Oh, actually, this will be a little bit of an Uber advantage because Seed also is left all by himself. People bullying medics this game. Not super friendly kind of stuff. 8 minutes 30 left on the clock.
Oh.
We're just about capping, getting control of mid. It kind of makes you think in the camp of Aura Electro, what are they going to be thinking? Do they think they want to just dot push anyway? Ooh.
They want to do that.
That's what they're thinking.
That's what they want to do.
That's what they're thinking. Oh, I dig that. I was like, hey, that does seem to be coming up pretty
I was thinking
quickly.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it in my head. I was like, they could crit creek here, and it could be very PogChamp, but Seed with the amazing positioning. He already knows it's crit creek. It's Eames is angling for it. Does fire the sticky through. Doesn't find a single thing here. Unfortunately, as the blue team are totally spread out. Oh my god, the crits from Sorex! 2 shots Nobby in the skybox there. And Nasboy is going to get super pumped back here, but now the Uber charge comes out. It's going to be a collapse, unfortunately, as Connor goes down. Eames goes down. Easy clap, boys. Fifth to go now in towards mid.
Sorex, the original pasta brain. He's on the back lines. I believe he has been spotted by Jay. Oh, who he's just going to reverse directly into. Somehow. Okay. He didn't quite get 2 shot, but might as well have been. Honestly, doesn't really matter too much. It is going to be Swift once again taking control of mid. Nevo sniping towards his forward spawn already. All spawners going to be up. They're going to try and stack to prevent any more. Okay, they're just about going to be preventing Sorex, which means that there are no scouts on the defending side at all, which is a little rough.
Yeah, it is a little bit rough indeed. Sorex now gets his respawn. It is going to be rapidly W-keying back in towards second. But Amarok now bombing in to try and get a little bit of a sack going, but doesn't manage to find anything. And now we've got the rest of the blue team now bombing forwards. Nasboy goes for the bomb also to get that aggression. Amarok finally getting caught out, and they're going to be retreating back in towards last. And Seeds only actually has that 20% Uber advantage to work with, so they need to be getting into last rather rapidly here, eepily.
Rather rapidly, yeah, I quite like that. It looks like they're feeling it, still going all the way towards his left-hand side. The second the sniper appears, though, they're like, right, just going to have to use our Uber Condog all the way towards the right-hand side. Not going to let them play point anymore because he has his own Uber. Nasboy, goodbye, he gets deleted out of the server. Going to be Aura Electro keeping control of this point. They kind of got to keep an eye on that time, though. It's 6 minutes 25. There might be an opportunity to continue here, having no stickies towards these shutters, but these soldiers are going to be hard work getting through.
Yeah, I mean, they're coordinating spam right now. Nubby is managing to hold off lower, and Captain is holding off the bridge, which is a really good place to be in. Amarok bombs in, super damage into the soldiers, and they might just push off that alone, but Connor walks in and walks back out again somehow and manages to survive. As Captain is sitting in the corner receiving heals, Nasboy gets to respawn, and they are now just going to be sitting on last, just holding up for the time being, and they are not opting for an NG.
No, Swift is going straight, walking in towards his left-hand side. Position already being taken super early. We're going to see Captain once again go super deep. It's fantastic damage, but not really anyone else able to commit trading frags out. I kind of thought Swift was just going to go off Uber before anyone had theirs all the way towards left, but it does look like they are going to chill a little bit. They obviously are in a commanding position. They don't have to get rounds at this point, right? Like, they still winning.
Yeah, I mean, Seeds is in the "you cannot kill me" spot, just sitting behind the wall on bats, even with 2 down. They still can't make the push out happen. And now there's 2 down on the side of Aura Electra, so they're going to have to try and make something happen here. As Nubby is now making his way forward in towards drop down, but the rest of the team now coming towards the left-hand side as Nubby gets shut down by Jezunis in the left side. And they're now just going to hit the retreat button as Slemnish is trying to snipe. But Jezunis now in with the bomb to deny Slemnish in super deep. And Eames is going to be trying to sticky up this lobby area just so they can get some forward aggression as they know that they want to push out. And they are calling for it as they now Uber through the doorway without Eames and they lose him. Jay, in fact, finds that frag. And there is like no one on this Uber. Sorix is just going to be the one man left as Seeds didn't actually pop out his Uber as well. But now, based off the damage alone and the frags, as Seeds comes in with the clutch frag on towards Sorix. And they are now going to be coming in towards the left-hand side area. Nevo in lower, desperately trying to get to the point. Gets one rocketed by Nubby. Eames gets bounced. It's going to be 4-0 on the scoreboard. Force fifth, looking very convincing now.
Yeah, it is looking very much to be that way. I don't want to say it's over. Maybe in the hearts and minds of some of the Aura Electra players, they're feeling like it's not possible. Technically, the maths begs to differ. This is going to be another new mid. This is it. I mean, it isn't impossible right now for Aura Electra just to keep steamrolling mid after mid after mid. Suddenly, they become absolute frag machines. And here we go. Let's find out. Nobby goes in nice and deep. Hey, what if he's just feeding? And he's done exactly just that. Okay, this is a little bit of a position to play with here. They can start moving a little bit forward. Jay's going to be the first enemy to start trying to take down. If we can hit these all-important shots, that's going to be fine. Unfortunately, they are kind of still trading things out, and they're on a bit of a low-ground position, but they just got to keep on moving forward, man. This is no time to fear. Just believe in yourselves.
The power of belief is something that won OG the Dota TI Championships. I mean, I believe in the power of belief, as they do too, as Nevo and Sorix are barreling forwards in towards Nasboy is 1 HP and manages to survive there. Slemnish gets annihilated. Eames is running in, and he does not care. Nubby in with the high bomb, however, going to sink 2 rockets into an Uber player. Is not going to find anything there, as it is going to be Condog running directly forwards into their team. But now Connor is going to be on the retreat once again, super deep and super out, as they are now bombing Jezunis through on the grass area, getting the split aggression happening as Sorik's going to be running in towards Captain. Captain actually getting caught out here. Nasboy and Seeds going to be holding up that bridge area. It's actually a little bit of an advantage here for the side of Aura Electra. The collapse now coming in, it looks like, as they do try and land on top of these players. It's just Nevo left alive though, as Amarok gets taken out and Sorix gets taken out. Nasboy super low on grass. This could actually be a decent cap coming out here. But Nevo taking the 1v1 on bridge against Slemnish is super long, man. And now they eventually give up.
Oh, okay. I just saw Nevo and Condor go 2 completely different ways. I could see the moment in which Nevo was like, dude, where'd he go? Because Condor just stopped moving. He just stopped moving and choked and looked around and was like, I don't know, man, I'm going mid.
He's like so disconnected from the rest of the team. Like, guys, why are we not Uber trading here? Why are we giving this up for free? All these things through the game that have led to this moment.
Little bit rough. This is 2 minutes 15 left on the clock. It has now got to the point where it is technically impossible, but that doesn't mean the game is over. This means this is the frag clip moment, and we're going to make the most of every single second. Ubers are going to get traded. There's going to be some more flashes on the side of Seed, so his Uber's going to go down just a little bit earlier. Nasboy continuing to just kick on Eames. He's bullying, mate. He's bullying. Not fair.
Someone called the cyber police, because this man is e-bullying to the max. He was doing it in product and now continuing it on in Snakewater as well. Man, I'd hate to be Eames at this moment in time. But they are managing to just destroy every player. That is actually a wipe coming out from Aura Electra, and they're going to be moving back in towards mid. They're going to be retaking it. Nasboy with the Eames in chat as well.
Oh, it's a rough game. It's a rough game sometimes. It's a cruel mistress. Cruel mistress.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Seeds has managed to accumulate 104 points so far.
That's quite a lot of points, I feel. Even for a medic, that's quite a few points.
That's a lot of points. And it was still 1 minute left, so he could technically reach 110-ish points through this game. But Jezunis now coming in through Cheese on towards Seeds and actually kills him. So that's going to be that one in the dirt. But that's a nice frag to find there. On towards Seeds, very difficult to find usually in a normal game. Azuna's getting cleaned up as well by Slemnish. Just going to be scattergunning him into the dirt. Nasboy taking this forward position on towards the bats area. Just going to be sticking him out, make sure that no shenanigans are going to happen for the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, well, this is 45 seconds. I see one Uber about to be up. Sorry, not even Uber, it's a crit in the form of Condog. So there is time for some kind of crazy 6k. Condog's trying to bait them in like, boys, I don't know. Maybe you could... maybe you can get this 5-0.
Hit him with the cum pussies. Jezunis actually in lower on the spy, going to be spotting out as Eames now going to be receiving this Kritzkrieg. The Kritz comes out, the backstab might come in. Jezunis finds the backstab onto Nasboy. Revenge was had, but Eames is going to be bombing in super deep in towards Seeds. He wants him dead, but it does manage to find the 2-pipe there as we have now got players leaving the server as Captain finds the cleanup on towards Eames. And this is going to be a 4-0 victory for the side of SVIFT, which is pretty convincing all in all. A very slow and methodical game, a very 7-esque, but couldn't manage to find the 5-0, but that doesn't matter because they're taking home 6 points from this official, continuing their win streak in Premiership.
What can I say? SVIFT, they're quite good at the game.
They are pretty good at the game, aren't they?
Yeah, I've been picking up on that. I feel like we can have a quick look at the logs, but again, a bit of a one-sided game. I don't want to dwell on them too much because it is just going to feel like, being a bit mean at some point. Interesting to see. Jesus, man. Sorik's going 8 for 16. Dude rocking up like the old 400 DPM in a game where Electra is just not able to get around. That's rough, man.
Yeah, imagine being Sorix and being like, I did this and we lost. It's kind of... He didn't even take top heals, by the way.
Heavens.
Yeah, heavens.
Like the thing is, right, this isn't to say that, anyone on Electra is not good. Electra is absolutely incredible players. It's like there are some fundamental kind of team issues going on there. It was not feeling like a comfortable experience for them really ever. If they could have found some form of comfort, some form of kind of position where they felt like they were able to do things, maybe they could have started chaining things together. But I mean, yeah, like against the raw power that is SVIFT, it's just so difficult. Like top 2 damaging players is like Sorix and Slemnish, both incredible scouts, and then obviously like Nasbo to Eames, like Eames just getting picked out in so many more of these situations. Like the meta comparison, once again, as always, looking so favorable towards Seeds. It's just a hard game, man. It's just hard.
Yeah, it was very hard for them all in all. But the one thing I want to point out mainly is that I just think that there was a lack of real focus. No one was really on the same page on the side of Electra. It was very out of touch with what we've seen like from them before. With Connor just being out in the open, just being like, boys, why are we not trading Ubers here? We can just trade Ubers and we'll be fine. And then Eames was on bats and Sorix was the only one that was next to him, and they were sort of the only 2 that were on the same page. Maybe just not getting the communication down, and then it was the same on product where they'd bomb both soldiers behind, and Nevo would abandon Connor to go and murder the soldier, and then the other scout would go off to try and murder Captain, and then at that point you're getting destroyed by Nasboy, and it's just sort of like that lack of real focus and deciding of what they want to do in the moment. To make it work for their team and take the right steps to actually getting those points and getting those games.
It's rough. Things are hard. I don't want to dwell on the numbers too much. We'll just, we can shove them to the side for the second. You know what we can do instead? We can have ourselves a little interview. I do see a player ready to have a little chat with us. Seeds from the side of SVIFT. Hi. Oh my! It counts as a double interview.
Yes.
Even better.
Yes.
All right, Lucky, I'm going to let you start with questions so I don't interrupt you.
How did you feel about these games in general? Just coming into them and playing them, how did it feel?
Pretty good. We had a pretty rough warm-up against Nerd Rage on Snake, where we kind of got rolled to last a few times, and so we were a bit worried about Snake. But our Viaduct's always been good, Like, we're a DM team. I think everyone knows that. But we were a bit worried about Snake, but Snake was pretty comfortable, honestly. Both were really good games. The scorelines aren't reflective of the quality, I think.
Yeah, I may have been on demos.tf and watched a few of your games prior to this actual official, but you guys played this super tight game style on product where you have like both your scouts essentially within your beam range. Is that just something you guys practiced and talked about prior to playing the games? Or you just decided that you want to just play this formation?
On Via?
Yeah.
Yeah, we scrimmed Via before this, and I said specifically because of Sorix's impact on like DM heavy maps, we should have 2 scouts on the beam, and I think we played 2 scouts on the beam really well. Like Slem and Jay are just insane.
Yeah, Slem and Jay are just taking it home for you. And during Snakewater as well, noticeably, did you feel like you played a little bit more... Well, actually, when you were playing against the side of Electra, did it feel like they were a little bit more disconnected than you were playing throughout the game?
On what map, sorry?
On Snakewater.
On Snakewater...
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
Did it feel like you guys played more coordinated than them, and that was the reason why you got the win, or do you feel like it was a different reason?
Honestly, I didn't really. We took a lot of messy fights on Snake Quarter, and I think it worked out. We just got into a position a lot where we were taking these like kind of team on team complete fights, and we came out better of it because I think we were more together in the team fights. Like we were full committed, and some of them weren't in the same position.
Yeah, that was one thing we took away. And my final question, I think I'm just going to ask, is what I've sort of been asking to a bunch of the other teams. Before you even touched the official, what did you think the scoreline was going to be from your team on both maps?
From my team,
Yeah.
I don't really ever have a set scoreline in mind, but I go into every official thinking I'm going to choke really hard and lose.
That's just not true. You're probably the most consistent player I've ever watched in my whole life. So
Maybe it's the strategy of thinking I'm going to choke and cringe.
yeah.
That's it. That's how you get ultimate consistency. I got one question. That's all I'm going to ask. And that is a tradition which I am now starting for all of my casts, in that I'm going to ask you to give an MVP player, either on your team or theirs. Seeds, who would you say is your MVP?
MVP for both teams is definitely like Jay for mine, Sorix for theirs. Both played insanely well. Like Jay main calls and plays really good pocket scout, and Sorix just makes all of the space in the entire world for his team. Like you've seen that team with different scouts, and it's just a completely different team, and you add Sorix into it, and it just pushes.
Fair play. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But that's all the questions I'm looking to ask right now. So do we want to go ahead and do some little shout outs?
Yeah. Sorry, Seeds, is that Ribs with you?
Yeah.
Yay!
Ribs, shout-outs from you.
Shout out to Seeds.
Epic. Seeds, shout-outs from you.
Shout out Ribs.
Nice.
That's very adorable. eepily, shout-outs from you, buddy.
Shout out to the players for the good game. Shout out to people watching, ArchRhythm, and yourself, obviously, for doing the game. Shout out to my neighbours who heard me scream about Eames getting dicked and are probably now issuing a noise complaint.
No.
Nice. ArchRhythm, any shout-outs from you, sir? He's done a shout-out to JWB, so PogChamps for you. I'm just going to throw a shout-out to ETF2L. Shout-out to you, eepily, for being my co-caster. Shout-out to ArchRhythm for producing this game. Silent man behind the camera. And shout-out to Not Dead Doggo for being a fun team to play against. And shout-outs to Balls because our sponsor is PogChamp. Anyway, that is the end for our game today, guys. Thank you very much for watching us. And we'll see you in the next game. Peace, gentlemen.
Bye.